Chiang Kai-shek, a name synonymous with 20th century China, rose from humble beginnings to become the leader of the Kuomintang, or KMT, and eventually, all of China. Born in 1887, Chiang's early years were marked by instability and a drive for advancement. He sought military training in Japan, joining the Chinese Nationalist Party, the KMT, founded by Sun Yat-sen. When Sun died in 1925, Chiang seized the opportunity to take control of the party. Chiang launched the Northern Expedition in 1926, aiming to unify a fractured China under the KMT banner. This ambitious campaign, plagued by internal conflicts and warlordism, saw Chiang's forces conquer large parts of eastern China. His marriage to Sung Mei-ling in 1927 solidified his ties to the powerful Sung family and provided a bridge to the west. By 1928, Chiang had established a central government in Nanjing, marking the beginning of the Nanjing Decade. Chiang's rise was not without its challenges. The KMT, though nominally unified, grappled with internal divisions. The fragile alliance with the Communists, formed in 1924, quickly crumbled, leading to a bloody purge in 1927. Despite these issues, Chiang, with his authoritarian style and ambition, had become the most powerful man in China. He now faced the daunting task of rebuilding a nation ravaged by years of conflict and disunity. The Nanjing Decade, from 1928 to 1937, was a period of significant change and challenges for Chiang Kai-shek in China. Chiang sought to modernize the country, focusing on economic development and education. He implemented financial reforms and infrastructure projects aiming to build a strong central government and a modern military. However, his efforts were hampered by the Great Depression, which had a devastating impact on the Chinese economy. The fragile peace was shattered by the Japanese invasion of Manchuria in 1931. This act of aggression exposed the weaknesses of Chiang's regime and his military. Despite calls for resistance, Chiang adopted a policy of appeasement towards Japan, prioritizing the elimination of the Communists, whom he saw as a greater threat. This decision proved to be a grave miscalculation. The Chinese Communist Party, led by Mao Zedong, had been steadily gaining strength in the countryside. Facing annihilation from Chiang's extermination campaigns, the Communists embarked on the legendary Long March in 1934. This arduous year-long retreat, covering over 6,000 miles, became a symbol of communist resilience and cemented Mao Zedong's leadership. Chiang's failure to crush the Communists during this period would have far-reaching consequences. The outbreak of full-scale war with Japan in 1937 forced Chiang Kai-shek into an uneasy alliance with his communist rivals. The Second Sino-Japanese War, as it became known, saw the KMT and CCP nominally united against a common enemy. However, deep mistrust and divergent strategies continued to plague their relationship. While Chiang's forces bore the brunt of the fighting against the Japanese, the Communists used the opportunity to expand their influence in the countryside. Despite receiving support from the United States, Chiang's government struggled to contain the Japanese advance. Major cities fell, and the war took a heavy toll on the Chinese people. Corruption within the KMT and the government's inability to effectively address the suffering of the population further eroded Chiang's support. The Communists, on the other hand, were seen as more effective fighters and more in touch with the needs of the peasantry. Following Japan's defeat in 1945, China descended into a full-blown civil war. The fragile wartime alliance between the KMT and CCP crumbled, and both sides raced to seize control of territory previously occupied by the Japanese. Despite initial successes and substantial aid from the United States, Chiang's forces were gradually pushed back by the Communists, who had gained valuable experience and popular support during the war against Japan. By 1949, the tide had turned decisively in favor of the Communists. Mao Zedong's armies, bolstered by captured Japanese equipment and growing popular support, inflicted a series of crushing defeats on Chiang Kai-shek's forces. In the meantime, CCP has been trying to incite and alienate KMT politicians and military leaders. Major cities fell one by one, and the KMT government was forced to flee to the island of Taiwan. On October 1, 1949, Mao Zedong proclaimed the founding of the People's Republic of China, marking the end of Chiang Kai-shek's rule on the mainland. The loss of mainland China was a bitter blow for Chiang Kai-shek. He established a government in exile in Taiwan, determined to one day retake the mainland. However, despite American support, Taiwan remained isolated, and Chiang's dream of returning to power in China never materialized. He ruled Taiwan with an iron fist until his death in 1975. Chiang Kai-shek's legacy remains complex and contested. He is remembered by more and more people as a Chinese patriot who fought to unify the country and resist foreign aggression and Communist Party. Others view him as an authoritarian ruler who squandered opportunities and lost the mainland to the communists. His defeat had a profound impact on China, shaping the course of the country's history for decades to come.